in this heat, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
It is.
It is. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, everyone. Hopping on.
Good morning.
Or afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from.
No, I can't hear it. Oh, you can?
I can.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Nice. I wonder why not pick that. What's playing? Now I'm curious. That's lit. That's lit. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Join. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to everyone who's logging on already. We may have some more people still trickling in, but we do want to get started very shortly and to honor everyone's time and to make sure we can cover as much discussion as possible from all of our wonderful panelists. I'm really excited to have Maida here and Roxy, who I know both of you. I'm excited to hear from both of you. And Ezekiel, I'm really excited to hear from Ezekiel, who I found on Twitter, and we just connected in Twitter DMs and we're talking, and I was like, I would love to invite you to this. And so here he is. My name is Carissa. I am the Director of Community Partnerships for Latinx Parenting and part of the team, the parent team. We're not all parents, but we are mostly parents and we love children, obviously, and what we do. And so I've been part of the team for over a year now. And this is my second LGBTQI panel with Leslie. And I am excited to share also that I am tuning in from, but Leslie and I are both tuning in from Costa Mesa, which is, we want to acknowledge the land is unceded Tongva and Nahashaman land here in Costa Mesa in Orange County. If you are tuning in here and are able to share in the chat where you're tuning in from, who you are, say hello, where you are in the world, in the country. And we encourage you to just stay super pump and active in the chat, encouraging our panelists and what they say. If you have any questions, please be sure to put them into the Q&A section and not into the chat so that we can make sure that we get to them and they can be more easily seen. So that's the only note for me, is just noting that you want to put any question that you might have into there, and we might get to questions throughout. They might be answered throughout, or they might be held until the very end. That is all for me. Thank you all for being here. And I would love to just introduce our jefa in charge here and our founder of Latinx Parenting, Leslie, who will get the party started.
As always, just kidding. Thank you all for joining. I'm so excited to share the space. I've been really looking forward to having this conversation with you all. each one of you and I connected over this last week. And every time I would have another conversation, I would just get that much more pumped. These are conversations that we don't have as often as we should. And so I'm just really excited to get to know you all a little bit better. Mayra, I've known you. Roxy, I've known mostly just about you and your chingonanes. Ezekiel, I was so excited to learn that you existed and that you were showing up the way you're showing up. And Angel is like my astrologa. She's read my natal chart. I'm like, you know everything about me. Don't out me during this panel. But I'm
will.
so honored. I'm just so honored to have each of the four of you here to share your medicine with us and yeah, just, you know, inspire. I don't think that there's anybody that is here that will not be inspired by the words that you share and how you're showing up. So I am not going to do you any injustice by trying to introduce you, but I would like to welcome you. And as I welcome you, I would like for you to share a little bit about yourself, anything that you would want to share with the people that are here. And I'm just recognizing that I'm already starting to talk really fast. And so in order to, you know, remind myself to slow down for the interpreters, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit because I get really excited and very enthusiastic. And then I start talking really, really fast like Ricky Ricardo. So I'm going to go ahead and begin with Angel. Angel de Luna Escobedo. Who are you, Angel? Welcome.
Hi, like Leslie said, my name is Angel or Angel de Luna. My pronouns she, her, and I am currently in Tijuana, unceded Kumeyaay territory. I am a mental health counselor, just recently hired in San Diego and moving here, also Kumeyaay territory. And I'm an astrologer, Sagittarius, Leo moon, Aquarius rising, hotness, etc., etc. So yeah, excited to be here and to talk some shit. Hopefully, talk some hope, etc., etc. Yeah. So happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy that you're here and you're currently in Tijuana right now. So we're like transnational right now, right? It's multiple countries I can hear.
Transgender, transnational,
transnational, transgender, all the trans. Absolutely. Thank you. Bienvenida. I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm going out of order. I told y'all that like things were subject to change and I went with Angel first because Angel is at the top of my screen right now. And so next to Angel is Ezekiel. So I want to welcome Ezekiel. Ezekiel, give us a little bit of an introduction. Who is Ezekiel?
Thank you, Leslie. Ezequiel Acosta, my pronouns are he, him. I was born in Chicago, but right now I'm currently based in New Mexico for grad school. I'm interested in like documenting trans histories and trans narratives. So I'm really excited to be part of this conversation. In terms of family, I am an only child. So, you know, whatever stereotypes you have about that, we can bring them up. And my mom is actually an immigrant from Guatemala City, and my dad was born and raised in Chicago, and he's Mexican and Puerto Rican, just to give a little bit of context of my background and my culture. But thank you, I'm excited.
Thank you, Ezequiel. Do you prefer Ezekiel or Ezequiel? The pronunciation.
Either is fine.
Okay, and then Angel, do you prefer Angel or Angel?
Angel is better for me, probably. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Mayra, hi, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Who is
Hello.
Mayra?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so honored to be here on this panel. So I am a Reiki practitioner. I'm a writer. Since Angel pointed out, I am a Sagittarius moon and a Sagittarius sun and a Pisces moon. So there's a lot of emotions there. And I have a lot of emotions. I have two boys, ages 7 and 10. They keep me really busy. We just got a puppy, a German Shepherd puppy. So she keeps me really, really busy. I am the oldest daughter of 4 children. Both of my parents are Mexican, and I reside here in Long Beach, California. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank you, Mayra. So happy to see you. Roxy, ¿cómo estás? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Who are you, Roxy? Tell us.
Buenos días a todos. Just like Myra said, thank you so much for the opportunity. I am grateful to be here. I'm excited to hear what everyone has to say and where our plática goes today. My name is Roxana. You can call me Roxy. My pronouns are she, her, ella. I am a daughter of 2. I have 2 children. My youngest is 7 and my oldest is 14. And that is my trans daughter. I myself identify as queer, and I am navigating queerness alongside my trans daughter. We've been doing this for a couple years now, 2 years. And yeah, I'm open to anything that anybody has to share, any knowledge, any experience. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, y'all are so beautiful, and I'm really excited to just like get into it because there's so much that we could talk about. I remember who it was I shared with, but I was like, this could easily be like a whole, way longer than an hour and a half, because there's so many. I think Angel, you and I like kind of talked about a lot of the intersectionalities of mental health, and we're definitely going to get into that, but there's so much that kind of plays into LGBTQI plus identities, right? And so I want to get into as much as we can. And then for the audience who's tuning in, know that you are going to have an opportunity to ask questions. And so if anything that the panelists are sharing generates a question in you, please do drop it in the Q&A. At the end, we're going to have Carissa come back and we will select maybe all of the questions, depending on how many come in, but definitely want to give the opportunity to the people that are here to be able to ask, any questions. Our panelists are all very, very open and very honest and, show up very authentically. So let's get started. Mayra, I want to go to you first. You were actually the first person that I thought about when we were thinking about inviting panelists. And so because you are a mother, Roxy, you are a mother too. But Mayra, I wanted to share or to ask you to share what the experience has been like in being a mother to your 2 young boys. What are some of the ways that you have navigated parenting them while balancing what others might have thought about your journey as a queer woman, as a queer mujer, and as a queer mother?
It's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been a lot of ups and downs. I think at first there was a lot of confusion on my family side as to, okay, you have these 2 kids, like, weren't you straight? And then now you're queer, like, we don't get you, we don't understand you. And it's like, okay, I really don't get myself either. But this is what I'm feeling right now. These are the feelings that are coming up. Perhaps these were feelings that I suppressed for a long time, in doing a lot of my personal work, a lot of my therapy, a lot of my personal healing journey. I feel like I began to release and unleash and unmask. And so bringing the children into this new phase, that I'm my new, I guess, unmasking and like unreleasing myself, and having my 2 children see me navigate my life and them ask questions and then kind of look at me and then just kind of see that it's normalized. They're seeing love in their home. It doesn't matter if there's a man or a woman or 2 men or 2 women. They're seeing love at the core of it. They're seeing a relationship. They're seeing a healthy relationship. And that's what I really wanted them to see, a healthy relationship, having ups and downs, conversation, communication, but at the core of it, love. And that's really what I want to teach my children, is that at the core of it is it's love, really.
That's so beautiful. Oh, and I'm thinking about Roxy too, because you're also a mother. And so I know that motherhood, for me, has added a layer of like introspection and reflection and like, fueling of like the growth that I want to do and how I show up with my children. But they definitely like show me parts of myself that are not as palatable. and not as enjoyable to see. But what has your journey been like, Roxy, in raising yourself, right, as a queer mujer also, and now also raising a trans daughter and your children?
I want to say that within my family structure with myself and my two children, I am grateful and blessed that it has been a very organic transition. I have always been an ally, even before coming out. So I always raised my children in the same manner. So again, it's just been very organic. My youngest 7, very accepting, very respectful towards his sister, towards me, towards my relationship. They've both embraced my queerness, and I embrace their acceptance and, you know, my daughter's transition and stuff like that. And just like I've told you over the phone, it just makes me so emotional because I created that, are who they are and as accepting as they are, because I raised them that way.
Yeah.
And as far as my parents, because we do reside with my parents, my mom has always been an ally, so it didn't really catch her off guard. My dad is, you know, your traditional Mexicano, so he is accepting, but there are, you know, certain things that he does need to work on, but he's working on them, and that's what makes me happy.
That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm like thinking about how, like, we talk about pride, but there's like a pride that you can feel like as a parent, right? As a parent of a queer child, or as a parent of a trans child, like a proudness of yourself for being able to nurture that for them. And so I celebrate that. I celebrate how, you know, accepting and how open, because it's not always the case, right? Sometimes it's a longer journey to help the older generation certainly like get accustomed to the fact that this is real, right? This is true. This is not something that's a sin or whatever. And so I want to move to Angel. I want to, or Angel, I'm so sorry. I want to move to Angel, and I want to ask what your journey has been like in navigating your transness in the context of your family, in the context of your parents, and what has that process been like for you?
Yeah, I get very emotional thinking about Roxy, Roxana, especially, and Maida as well. Like, my relationship with family has not been organic. It has actually been, I think my activism started with my family. I have come up several times to my family on many levels. And in each moment, I had to push to educate them and to teach them how to humanize my experiences and to affirm who I am. And I remember there were constant arguments, also politically, because my family, I'm more left and my family is more not that way. And in the wake of Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, like, I've had to educate them and do that hard work of interrupting the family dinners and interrupting and being kicked out, and then being like, I refuse to leave until we resolve this. And then nobody does that. No children does that. Nobody disobeys their parents and be like, I'm not leaving until we resolve this. And spending 12 hours in the night talking and talking and talking and talking until they, you know, accept and understand who I am. And I think after, like, I came out when I was 13, I'm 25 now, and it's been 12 years, and finally there's been major breakthroughs with my mom and my dad. My dad actually has always been very accepting of me. He always gendered me correctly. He got it very quickly. It makes sense to him. He's never, like, he has machista tendencies in general, like towards me and my gender and my sexuality. I came out to him in a very organic way, but with my mom and my sister, it was extremely difficult. And it kind of pushed me to question cis women solidarity with trans women, and wondered if truly if women really are more accepting than men are. And I think with my sister specifically, she has been hands down the hardest person to work with. And so, but now it's, you know, I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, okay, like I'm like, how being kind of trans in a kind of a nuclear family is like, what is it that you want to compromise? And what is it that you are willing to fight for? And when and how? And so I think this is something that I've been thinking about a lot more, and we can talk about it more in other questions. But I think this concept of chosen family, I think being trans has taught me that I get to choose who I'm close to.
Yeah.
And I get to choose who to love, and I get to choose who to give my time. And that has liberated me. It's come with a lot of mourning and pain and grief and purging. But I think I'm at a good place now. I'm coming into a better place now with it. So yeah, that's kind of been my journey in a nutshell. There's a lot I'm not talking about, obviously, but in a nutshell.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that you brought up the grief and the fact that this can be really complex, right? And that it can affect different members of families differently, and that it brings up layers of, you know, the question that you asked, like, are women truly, because I think that's the assumption that a lot of us had, like, are women truly the more accepting ones? How are we, you know, those of us who can either like support trans issues or not, like how are we either supporting or being complicit in a lot of the marginalization of trans folks, right? And so I know, Ezekiel, you have a lot to say about this too, because I know that your process, specifically you've spoken a lot with your dad, or about your dad and your relationship to your dad and how that journey progressed, but I want to hear from you, and would you be willing to share with us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to hear from everyone else, because I'm like, I resonate with that. So I just want to say, like, I really like from Maida and Roxy's stories about how, you know, this allyship makes it more organic to have this relationship with their children. So you see a lot of like this intergenerational stuff breaking down. Because in my family, it was not like that. I think it wasn't that there was a lack of queer family members. You know, there's definitely those deals that you're like, that ain't your roommate, right? So it's like, but the conversations are so different because they're not outwardly queer. It's more like, just be quiet about it and we accept it. And so I think there's this, I guess, generational silence they try to push on you. And I resonated a lot with Angel, where it's like, we come out and we're not going to be quiet. So what does that mean for your family now, right? Because it's like, this isn't my roommate, like this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, this is my lover. And what do those conversations lead to? So I think a lot of times when I've had these like head-on collisions, I guess, with my family, it's just realizing that this transition isn't just me. It's like everyone is going through this transition, right? So I've tried to be more mindful of my family, like picking a name that can be pronounced in English and Spanish, trying to share a little bit of my journey. But I definitely resonate with Angel, where it's been really lonely, especially like the medical and legal transitioning. That's all been me by myself. And part of it isn't so much that maybe my family can be transphobic, but also they don't know, right? Like, what does it mean to not know? What does it mean to us also not know what our queerness means or what our transness means? And kind of, how do you explain that in Spanish too, right? Like, we're just finding these different words in English, and then we're like, okay, well, how can we translate these? Especially when, you know, we've been silenced for so long. So I guess that's just what I would like to bring to the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to, you know, give also Angel and Roxy and Maida. I don't know where Maida went, but I think I have non-video participants. I'm like, maybe, okay, I think her, okay, there you are. But I want to give you an opportunity to express any resonance or anything that you would want to add to anything that each of you said.
I just wanted to point out with Ezequiel what he was saying about just having that, you know, the unspoken outness. Like, you know, I was telling Leslie yesterday on the phone call that I was telling her about a Disney short that I watched with my children about, it was called Out, and it was about a couple, two men living together, and he wasn't out. and he was really hiding his relationship, and just like how sad that made me. It made me really sad where his parents came over and he was like, leave. And then he leaves, and he was gonna leave, but he's like, you need to tell them. And it was just like that, like, like how hurt he must be, like, and you start thinking about like, wow, how many arguments did they get into? Like, how much hurt was there in between that, relationship, that he just wasn't, I guess, didn't want to tell them because he just didn't think he was going to be accepted. And then it just turns into this beautiful story where it's just like, okay, I'm just going to have to tell them. And then, mom was and dad were accepting, but it's just one of those things that I wanted to watch with my kids, because I wanted them to see that this is normalized. This is something that, that they're going to see in their lives, not just here in their home, but out in the world. And we have to change the narrative, and we have to change the way that they think as well. And other people too.
Mm. Yeah.
For myself, I want to add that when my daughter came out to me, I was overwhelmed, not because I was disappointed or anything, because like I said, I've always been an ally, and my children just know that I'm accepting of anything. But the way that she did it, it was overwhelmingly like a sense of joy per se, because it was not a struggle for her. And it hurts to know that there's people that do go through that struggle, where it's painful to come out, or it's like Angel said, the grief that comes with everything that, is entailed to coming out to a family or educating your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, I think like, so with so much of my family, and I think like when we are also experiencing other intersections of whether you're low income and a person of color and a woman, and there's like, or disabilities and other intersections, excuse me, it's you're also like negotiating. I can't really leave my family, like I can't really immediately dismiss them and cut them off sometimes, unless they cut you off, right? But sometimes it's like, what do you do then? Well, how do you negotiate being dependent sometimes? Sorry, there's like really a lot of noise in my background.
You can't
And,
hear
and I've
it.
been thinking a lot. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
I've
we
been
can hear
thinking
you.
a lot about okay, cool. I've been thinking about what decolonize really means in this family context, I guess. And I think like for me, like with my parents, like I don't want to excuse the behavior fully, but I really do feel like it was like a lack of education. Like honestly speaking, for a lot of them, for a lot of my family. And I know that even when I fought with my mom, she like really tried to understand what I was coming from. And like then she had like, we had these back and forths for like hours and hours and hours and hours. And she's like, I'm trying to understand, but I can't, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I'm just like, this is now to bring resources and like, I learned to really like be really good at explaining certain things, because I had to like learn to really explain. And like now we're at a point where like she literally apologizes for like shit that she does immediately. Like she's like, oh, that was toxic. I apologize. And like, and Roxy was saying like, like I did that. She was saying like with her kids, and I feel like I did that with my parents. I feel like I did that with my family. I was like, it's not like I single-handedly did it, because it had to take some receptivity on their end to some degree. But I feel like I did that. I was like, I pushed them. I said no. I said, we're not gonna stop here. I said, we're gonna continue. And I left crying. I would like go back to where I was living, because I left home when I was 17. I would come back and I was like, and then I would be like, okay, next round, let's go. And they were like, ay, la India siempre está arruinando la cena. Siempre is always ruining the family. And I was like, I am gonna be the bitch who ruins the family. I am sorry, we're not gonna stop until you need to get to where I need you to be, and where we need you to be. And I'm sorry. And I had to put my well-being at risk And that was what decolonization and what liberation looked like for me. Because liberation is not individual, it's collective. We cannot heal on our own. I don't know. We like, and in some ways now I'm kind of learning to kind of like, what does it also mean to protect yourself? But there is no healing, no decolonization without our community, and whatever that community looks like for us, whatever that family looks like for us, whether it's a chosen one or not. I think that has been something that has really been, I've been really thinking about more like these days, I think.
Yeah. I'm just like I soak things in. I'm just gonna let it soak for a little bit because it's so, I think what you're sharing is so powerful, especially like it brings up the question about like what is liberation truly and like who deserves that, right? Like who deserves to move into a space of decolonization? What does that actually mean? And I think for me, like it's moving away from these like false ideas of what power is, right? Like holding power. And our families do come from a lot of conservative values that have, I think, confused our ideas of what power is, of what being good is, of what being right is. Like we come from all of these binaries. And at the same time, we see ourselves moving away from that. And I find that so beautiful. And I know that Ezequiel, you and I spoke, and we were talking about how there are all of these stereotypes about our families as very conservative. And I want you to speak a little bit on the move away from that and what you have observed.
Definitely. My mom really likes queer media. Like I don't really watch TV or anything like that, right? But she's always like, hey, I saw this on TV or I saw that. And it's been really helpful, I think, coming into my own queerness and transness because I think a lot of our spaces for trans people tend to be really white and they don't necessarily understand, right? So I know I used to work the Trans Lifeline. So it's a hotline for trans folks. And I was an operator. And I had someone, talking to me about how right away they cut off their family. They're like, they don't understand it. And it was just, definitely their experience. And sometimes, yeah, you have to cut them off right away for your own safety, like Angel was talking about. But for me, that was never really an option. I was like, I'm definitely invested in my family. And I dealt with them misgendering me for a long time, calling me by the wrong name for a long time, like we were in the right together. So I was willing to go on that journey with them. But I think when we're in like really white spaces, it's like a different conversation versus the one Angel and I are having, right? Where what does it mean to constantly go home and fight with your family? And like what consejo can another brown trans folk give me to open up that conversation? So I think having pláticas like these are really useful to see that, other people are combating their family in the same way. And how can we keep each other safe at the same time as try to like demolish these obstacles, right? And get ourselves respect and get ourselves healthcare, different things like that come with having those relationships with our family.
Because we're stuck. This is what it means to be an immigrant, to be a person of color in the United States. Like we can't always easily detach, right, from our communities that honestly are our lifelines. And our parents sometimes, for better or for worse, are our lifelines. White people have the generational wealth already. Like they have their shit together. Like, it's different for us.
Yeah. So yesterday, I didn't know we were going to talk about this because this just happened yesterday, but the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. And then there was, all of these women that are showing up to the Supreme Court in like the Handmaid's Tale garb, right? And so one of the commentaries that I was reading was like, you are like, by showing up in that way, you're not affirming that this is an issue as much as you are negating that this is something that, people of color have been navigating and dealing with for years, right? Like it's only when now it's affecting you that you're showing up. And so I'm wondering if any of you would want to kind of speak on what happened yesterday, how it affects LGBTQIA plus communities and what some of the intersections might be in, the policy piece.
I think I will go ahead and say a couple of things. One of the first things that came to mind when this happened is obviously women. but primarily like BIPOC, you know. But then with that also comes trans, and it makes me worry for my child, because this, if it wasn't for Roe v. Wade, we wouldn't have many things like same-sex marriage, or the abolition of like anti-sodomy laws and stuff like that, that, you know, currently protect trans people. And it's like, it feels like we're taking a step back, and it feels like that's what's coming next. And that endangers the life of Black, Indigenous people of color, trans, you know. That's just what I immediately felt when I found out.
I agree
Also-
with you. I'm sorry.
Also, like, you know, care also for trans people, for their transitions, and just any, you know, anything that entails that.
I agree with you, Roxana. That was really one of the things, one of the first things that I thought about too, while I was reading the news and reading what was going on while I was at work. And in my work life, I work with families from prenatal to 5 years. So right away, and I work in the community. So my main client participations in our programs is Latinx families and African American families. And I really thought about what was going to happen now, and then trickling over to the trans community, the LGBTQA community. And I started really thinking about, how is this going to affect everything? Now this is going to be a domino effect, because it's not just one thing, it's going to be breaking down everything. And I started feeling about that there's just so much more work to do, right? Like right when we feel like it's going up, like getting a little tiny bit better, it's just like, no, there's more work to do. And it feels like these systems are just breaking. And I just started to think about, instead of us moving forward as a collective, instead of us moving forward, we're taking 1,000 steps back. And so how is that going to affect our work? How is that going to affect us? And what are we going to do about it? And how are we going to move forward with this? So it just feels like it's just so a big, heavy burden has fallen upon us, you know, and it's like, how are we going to work through this? And how are we going to change this?
The thing is, I think that, so no, I don't think this. In fact, a lot of these laws, like for example, Roe v. Wade, were a product of the work that Black, Indigenous people of color have done out in the streets, riots, rallies, all of that. It's all our work. So that burden has always been there. We've just been sustaining it, you know? And now we're at a point where like there's no sustainability anymore, because, you know, they overruled it. So now we have to put in the work again, and it continues to be our work. And now we just gotta work at it harder, you know? And that's really where it stands.
Mhm. I think also, yeah, like, you know, Roe v. Wade like affects people of all genders. It affects people who give birth. It affects people with vaginas, people, for anybody who is, it could be a cis woman, it can be a non-binary person, it can be a trans man. And so it's definitely like, for me, like it's very important to also like talk about like, this is like a gender inclusive issue. And also that the attack on Roe v. Wade is tied to attacks on trans people, because attacks on trans people already kind of has been happening, right? Trans people have experienced, like, especially trans youth, and predominantly like in the South, not just the South, across the country, hundreds and hundreds of bills introduced just this year that seek to make existing in public life in all its forms inhospitable for trans people. This means going to school. This means going to the bathroom. This means joining sports. This means getting healthcare. This means getting housing. But Roe v. Wade is different because it's also about privacy. It's also about our right to privacy, which is what the basis of Roe v. Wade was, right? Like, who are we to regulate the private matters of someone's life, of their bodies? But then also, and that was the anti-sodomy laws. Like, who are we to talk about, like, to like, you know, regulate what happens in the bedroom between two men, you know, or whatever. But now it's like the private sphere is also like inhospitable and does not exist for people, for trans people. And that's like really, really violent, because you can't escape to, like, you know, like the public isn't hospitable, your own home isn't hospitable. And this is happening as ICE was also given leeway to enter homes without a warrant, right? Just weeks prior. So this is like an attack on our, like, on privacy, right? This idea that of that, like, we can enter your home at any time, we can regulate your body, we can do literally anything, and there's no protection for you, right? So this is like really important. And also the fact that it's no coincidence that Roe v. Wade happens simultaneously as trans people are attacked in our bodies. And there's always, trans people are always the short end of the stick. We are the ones that people make fun of in comedy and in shows and in TV and media. We are the ones who get poked fun of by literally everyone, as we are simultaneously uplifting everybody in our environments to do better, to be better, to survive. We are the ones who are doing the healing, and the ones who are holding the trans women are historically been the mothers of queer people who have been disowned from their homes. Like, we took the role of motherhood, and trans women of color specifically, and Black trans women. And so instead of, I guess for me, one thing that really, really is cemented, and this is that the Supreme Court is trash, the Senate and the House is trash. Like, literally every apparatus in this country is absolutely unreliable, and we cannot continue to put faith in it. And so what do we put faith in? We put faith in our chosen families, in our communities, in our neighbors, because that is the shit that keeps us alive. It is my vecina chismosa who be up in everybody's business. She's the one who keeps me alive. She's the one who gives me all the tea on WhatsApp. Eso es lo que está pasando. We don't need cops. We need more chismosa neighbors who be all up on your business. That's mutual aid. That's mutual aid. You know, shit like that. I'm realizing like really building our community infrastructure, our community gardens, our community policing, like actual, like not policing, but our community safety protocols. Like, we are the ones who are going to make us safe. And so that's one thing that really kind of cemented yesterday.
Yeah.
I've been ranting a lot, so I'm gonna just kind of stay quiet.
No, I think I'm going to be saying this a lot throughout the Plática, but I agree 100% with Angel. I think, like, being on the margins as trans folks, like, I didn't expect when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I was like, no one's going to talk about trans men, right? No one's going to diversify the conversation. And I think that cis people need to wake up. Like, trans people have been going through these struggles for a long time. And, like, you know, Angel was talking about with all the bills that were being passed against trans people, like, this is our everyday reality. And it's time for cis people to be like, hey, oh my God, this is happening. Like, I'm being under attack, my identity, my reproductive health, and it's time for us to do something. And for us to do something, we need to work together. There's so much that we can learn from trans people already. For example, I'm used to healthcare not caring about me, right? So I need to reach out to my trans men and be like, hey, where is it safe for me to get my hormones? Where is it safe for me to get my top surgery? Where is it safe to me to do this? Where can I stay? what if I get top surgery somewhere else? Is there someone that can open a couch to me? Can I stay in San Francisco with another trans guy who's also dealt with a surgeon? Like there's just these networks and we rely on each other so much. And I feel like cis people can learn from that because yeah, well, the courts aren't gonna help, right? Like Roxy said, it comes from generations of protests. We look at places where we've burned down buildings, we smashed windows, and they just overturn it like that. So why are we wasting our energy there? I think we need to waste our energy or use our energy to protect each other and learn from each other and, you know, make these international coalitions. We look at Mexico, it's legal in Mexico. You know, just because it was overturned, that's not every state. So who do you know in another state if you're in kind of like a hurry, you're in a rush, something happens to you, like who can you rely on within your networks? So it's time for us to spread out and talk to each other. I know for me, I'm most likely Albuquerque, abortion will still be legal. I mean, people know my Instagram handle, reach out to me, right? Like if you're in a situation and you need a place to stay, my house might not be big. I have a couch, like come through. It really doesn't matter if I don't know you, but I think we need to be able to rely on each other as gente.
I love that. I love that.
It's really powerful. And I honestly think it speaks to what you had touched on a little bit earlier in reestablishing kinship, Angel, and having chosen family, right? And ensuring that there are, you know, I think I shared with one of you that I've moved away from saying that there are truly safe spaces because we live in unsafe systems. And so it's hard for there to be a guarantee that we will be, you know, really actually in a safe space. And I think that this is especially true for Black and Indigenous people of color, for trans folks, for queer folks, like for everybody who has been in the margins. I feel like the Latinx umbrella is this, but then there's people that are like that much more marginalized, children included, right? Trans children within Latinx culture, queer children in Latinx culture, like there are narrower margins, right? And so I feel like there isn't, for me, like the ability to say any space is going to be, you know, safe, right? Somebody had reached out to me, Jean Guerrero, the journalist, was asking if there was a possibility, this is like concerning the flag, like, is there a way that we can reclaim the flag, or this idea of the US as like something that we who have been on the margins can identify with? And I was like, no, to me, it's always been a symbol of imperialism and oppression. And like, you know, no, very few people are actually free. The majority of us are not free. And so again, like, I just think that there are systems, like Angel said, like we are, you know, we're kind of barking up the wrong tree, right? Like that's not necessarily where, like Ezequiel said, we should be wasting our energy, because we have seen, and Democrats, even Democrats, like they had decades, right, to be able to make this into law so that it was not something that could be overturned. And here we are today.
Absolutely. And I think the danger that like the most of the, it's not that most of us are not free. It's like none of us are free. Not even white men are free. Because why is it that white men are held the most power and also have the highest suicide rates in the country? We, like, capitalism makes us believe that resources that are worth more, finances and money is worth more than our relationships with our people and our communities. And so that is to decolonize and to be anti-capitalist, to realize the ways in which we have been coerced into wage labor, the ways that we've been coerced out of our relationships. It means unpacking my relationship with my mom and the hatred for my dad for not being there for me when he had to work 12 hours and then he had to go to his 12-step meetings, and he had to prioritize his friends, his money, his job over his relationship with his children. It's like unpacking all that shit. It's unpacking and realizing, no, like we are living in a coerced society. We are coerced, and white men are literally sacrificing their humanity to oppress us. And so that's just like one thing also, right, to think about. And like we, brown and Black people, sex workers, trans people, communities of color, undocumented folks, like we have been creating mutual aid networks forever because we couldn't rely on the state because people aren't eligible for resources from the government because people aren't eligible for all these different things, and we had to kind of like go outside the system all the time to survive. So this is like when we're talking about vision, like we already do that. We already go outside the system. So we have to continue doing that work and building that work and refuse to be seduced by politics, by electoral politics, by politicians to say, no, this is the right time. This is now, it's more important now than ever to go. No, bitch, no, it's over. Like you don't get to, like, no, it's time to reinvest in our communities and in our like legitimate safety. Okay, again, I'm venting way too much. Y'all need to shut me up. Mute me, please. Before
No, there's so much fire here. I love it. And I think there should be, right? Like, I feel like this is what fuels these movements. And in order for us to get to a place where, you know, it is more equitable and it is, you know, bringing forth liberation for those on those narrow margins. But I want to hear from Roxy a little bit, you know, as a mother, and then Mayra too, like how did yesterday, or just, you know, even what Angel and Ezequiel are talking about, what comes up for you as you listen to them, just in terms of our responsibility as parents?
Absolutely. I really do believe that our responsibility as parents is to first and foremost educate our children in the home, right? And I believe that queer history is human history. And the deletion of just, it's evident in education already, like in our public school systems. So that's where our work comes in, and we have to educate our children at a very young age at home. You know, to have transparency about, you know, the 2S LGBTQIA+ community to our children, so that as they, you know, grow and transition into whatever identity that they choose, that it is accepting, that they accept themselves, and that education that we're giving to them just continues to ripple effect into the future. And what came up for me specifically regarding Roe v. Wade was, again, my daughter, you know, and just women in general. And then my daughter, in fact, she wasn't vocal to me, but I saw her social media posts and stuff like that. And she's very loud and she's very vocal about what she believes in regards to what happened yesterday too. So again, that makes me happy because she has always had the autonomy to be her own self and have her own voice. And I believe that that's what we should teach our children, to have a voice.
I agree.
I think just to piggyback off Roxana, just creating that space at home and letting our children know that they have a home with us. You know, we are their home, you know, we are their safe space, you know, but also taking the fact to also deal with our own stuff, our own healing, so then we are able to be there for our children when they grow and they decide to be anything that they want, any gender that they choose, any identity that they choose, that we're able to have that acceptance and they're able to feel comfortable enough to come to us when they have an issue, to come to us when they're experiencing something that's bigger than them. And just creating that at home for them, that safety, that love for them. And my children are, you know, my oldest is 10 and he's starting to see things. He's starting to wake up, you know, I feel like for a 10-year-old, I feel like he's very mature. And so I feel like questions will come. I feel like, you know, it's just a matter of time when he starts asking questions and speaking up. And I'm happy about that, because that is what we want for our children, is to speak up and not stay quiet, and really teaching that at a very early age to use their words and not be afraid to speak up and not be afraid of what they're feeling inside, if that's scary or if that's, you know, I shouldn't tell my mom or I shouldn't tell my dad because I feel, maybe I'm not going to be accepted, or maybe I'm going to, they're going to judge me, or they're going to think I'm bad. And I don't want that for them, because for so long I felt that. For so long, I felt like whatever I was feeling was wrong, whatever I was feeling was not going to be accepted, and that I was just a weird person. And I don't want that for them. I don't ever want them to feel like they're isolated on an island somewhere. I want them to feel that they could come to me with anything.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that it's really beautiful for the parents who are tuning in, especially to be able to hear that and to be affirmed in, nurturing that kind of environment where children can feel safe enough to just be who they are. And also, I know that there's challenges that come in from the outside, right? There's external people or extended family members. I shared recently on Instagram that I have cousins that I know of who identify as queer, who identify as gay or lesbian, and what they'll probably never come out to their family. Like I just, because I've seen the way that some people in my family have talked about queer folks, have talked about, trans folks, and being young, right? Like as a child, and being like, oh, that's interesting. Like why are you calling each other joto in that way, or whatever it is, right? There's certain things. And so when you grow up in that kind of environment where there are those more conservative values, or those, there's a lot of homophobia, it can feel really scary. And so I want to just also honor the experience of parents who maybe either themselves identify as queer, or are raising children who are queer or trans, but also don't feel supported by that family environment, and maybe don't have those communities around them that are supportive yet, right? And so what would either of you say to those families, right, that are kind of navigating that, or maybe are not feeling that sense of safety? I think that we're doing that for our children now, right? Like Maida said at the beginning, we're coming to a place where it is a lot more normalized. And at the same time, there definitely is still, like, we don't necessarily want to just be like, oh, like Angel was saying, like, oh, I'm just not going to be your family anymore then. Like, I'll just remove myself from my family system, because we are a collectivist culture. And that's one of the beautiful things about Latinx families, is that we are collectivist, but then how do we navigate the individualism that comes with being, in our bodies, in our identities, within the context of that collectivism?
Going back to what Angel said, Angel said, it's all rooted in education, really. Because with education comes representation, and with representation comes acceptance. Our parents, so our generation, our parents don't have the education to support us, or help us transition, or help us navigate our queerness. They're just not equipped for it, unfortunately. So then us, as the LGBTQ plus community, it is, I wouldn't say it's our responsibility to educate completely, because people should obviously educate themselves, but it's important to educate, immediate families such as our parents, so that they can maybe not, completely help us navigate, but at least support. And for us with children, it's very important for us to continue to educate ourselves, so that we can further navigate all of this for ourselves, and then for our children, and then for future generations. So again, it all goes back to education, and starting that education now.
Yeah.
I know in this community that I live in now in Long Beach, it's a beautiful thing to see queer families out and about at Target doing their shopping together. Even the school that my son goes to, they even went as far as having a queer LGBTQ A plus picnic, a family picnic for families. And I thought that was a beautiful thing, because I didn't see that growing up, and I didn't even see that in the community that I lived in before. I didn't see families together like that. I didn't see the school being involved and being like, hey, come here, let's have a picnic together, let's get together, let's really have a community here in Long Beach. And I see it, it's just, I feel like I was always searching for home, and I feel like I found a place where I feel accepted, and I feel that that's what we need to create in all communities. You know, that would really help other families that are looking, or like families that are still kind of like, you know, not feeling accepted, or maybe like they don't have a place to go, you know, because in their little community they don't have that. I'm thinking about like in the, and I used to live in the San Fernando Valley. And so you don't see that, you know, it's just so mainly a community that's just really based on religion. And so you're not going to see a picnic there, you know, but there should be a picnic there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes like when we experience like so much like trauma, or when we're not, when we grew up in communities, we don't really like see or queer people out and about. It kind of like limits our like vision of like what is possible for us.
Right.
And I think, yeah, and I think having like chosen family has definitely like taught me like, oh my goodness, wait, I don't have to like sacrifice my authenticity to receive love. Wait, you mean that my friendships who love me, they're not gonna withhold love if they don't like one thing that I do? Wait, are you trying to tell me that like all of these ways of like keeping love, that the things that I did to make my parents and my siblings, whatever, love me, I don't have to like venture out and fear abandonment from like this community because they like literally just care about my well-being? Like, wait, like sometimes like it takes kind of building with a kind of a community to realize like, wait, all of this is possible for me. Seeing myself reflected with other folks, and seeing myself kind of build, seeing people, parents, queer people, seeing queer people parent others, and seeing communities parent each other's children. Like that is possible. Like what? And like that to me has been like the most mind-blowing thing. And I think the biggest example was Leslie. The thing, remember when I first met you and like you like were everybody was like we were at Marla's, and it was like a big like moment for me because like I brought a friend and she had pink eye, and then Leslie was like breastfeeding, or people were breastfeeding in general, moms were breastfeeding openly, which is really liberating to even see. And then just kind of like, she's like, do you like my friend was like, I have pink eye right now, my eye hurts, like whatever. And Leslie literally
I
grabs
gave her my breast milk.
in the like, and she like pours the breast milk like in my friend's like eye, and that as the fucking infection like starts to like pour out of her eye, like it literally helped like her eye. And I was like, that is like amazing. And I needed to see that. I like, as a queer kind of woman, like I needed to see an unapologetic, free, communal, liberated space where people just do shit for each other. Yeah, you don't even know my friend like that. You don't even know my friend, period. She was just like, you need breast milk? Yeah, sure, I got you. Oh, you know, here. Like I was like, I needed that shit. I was like, wow.
I forgot about that. That's right. I'm like, I legit did squirt milk into a stranger's eyeball.
It was so natural.
It was good. It helped. It really does. I'm like, there's like another PSA, separate but not separate, like breast milk cures pink eye. So
yes, it does.
That's how it should, but in like the best way. I was like,
I love that. Thank you for reminding me of that. That was great.
I want to add to what Mayra was saying about for LGBTQ PIA plus communities. Yes, they are important, and yes, they are important to have in within our communities, but also with that comes having spaces that feel safe enough for people of color, because some of these spaces are white dominated. And like you mentioned, the picnic, my daughter's school also had a picnic, and they also have like a monthly call, which you're able to log into Zoom, and it's parents and other individuals that are navigating the same thing. However, I did log on 3 times, and out of the 3 times, not once did I feel represented, and not once did I feel that my represented. So that's where I feel like I just kind of like want to immerse myself in doing the work to be able to create these spaces so that children like my daughter can feel safe, represented, and so that we also are given tools that we need to help our children navigate this transition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because when I first when I became pregnant, I really wanted to have a home birth. I really wanted to breastfeed. I really wanted to cloth diaper. I really wanted to co-sleep. And so trying to find community around that was very similar in that these wellness spaces are generally very, like wellness spaces, right, are generally very white. And so, and I met, really wonderful friends, but it was something that I definitely noticed where it was like, I don't fully fit in here. Like there's certain parts, and it was like a vibe. It was like, I can't really even like describe it. It was just like, you just feel, a certain lack of belonging in those spaces. And so I think even Latinx parenting was created because the parenting world is so white. The parenting world is just like so Eurocentric and so westernized. And it's like, we actually need a space where we can talk about how we're not just going to discard each other when our parents are not respecting boundaries and things like that, right? There's a lot of, we want to work through things, right? We want to problem solve. We want to make sure that we move from that space of survival into thriving, but together, right? So hearing you say that, Roxy, about wanting to create those spaces just fills me with like so much esperanza, so much hope, like so much excitement, because I know Carissa too, like she's creating a birth workers of color database and things like that, because again, like when I was looking for a midwife, my midwives were white. When I was looking for one, I think I found one that was not a white midwife, and so there's just so much opportunity for us to create those spaces that we didn't have when we needed them.
Absolutely. I completely resonate with what you just said, because with my second child, I wanted a home birth. I wanted a doula. I wanted a midwife. And I found a birthing center, but it was white centered. And sure, it was what I wanted, but I didn't end up going through with it because it was not the space that I wanted, that I felt safe in, which is part of the reason why I even became a birth worker, for that very same reason, because I couldn't find the resources that I needed that were provided by people of color.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You really do feel alone, even if motherhood is already a lonely journey, and then when you're navigating trying to look for these spaces, you do feel lonely. You do, because then you're just seeing, you're not being represented in those. You're seeing somebody that doesn't look like you and doesn't know you, doesn't know your culture, doesn't know anything like that, doesn't know about observing the cuarentena. And like for them it's just like, whatever, like you gave birth, like go about your business.
Yeah.
I know a little different, but when I came out, my parents wanted to do like PFLAG, groups like that to kind of have space to learn. And I know that maybe a lot of the parents tuning in might also be in that space. Like, is there any kind of resources that y'all would recommend for parents, or any recommendations for, let's say, an organizers watching this? How do we bring more POC to our spaces, or what can we do to make folks feel more included?
I would have to say that I'm still fairly new to navigating where and how to gather my resources. I do, however, try to look for spaces where I feel represented and where I feel that my child would feel represented and safe. What would I recommend? I would recommend just continuing to do your homework and put the work in it. It's very important for our children. just be passionate about it. You know, you have to be passionate about it.
It's such a good question because I feel like it's so like the resources are still they're there, but the ones that we as Black, Indigenous, people of color might need are not as widely available. And so my recommendation is always to say, if you don't see a table that you can sit at, you build your own, right? And you find community around building your own table. Latinx parenting was labor, right? Like it grew out of labor for others who, like, I needed it, right? Like I needed this when I had a baby 10 years ago. And it didn't exist. And it took me, 8 years to finally be like, I'm tired. Like I'm tired of not having community around this. I'm tired. And so slowly, right? It's a slow process also. So I also want folks to know that like, if you're not like ready to go start an organization or like some kind of community immediately, then at least start talking to other people, right? At least start talking to other people. And so there's strength in numbers, right? So my recommendation for any marginalized community is to find your people, right? Just like even Carissa and I think I reached out to her the first time we met and I was like, you seem cool, let's go to coffee. And then like it was social media makes those things possible, right? Where we can actually find these communities and say like, hey, you seem dope, let's go and hang out. Like, oh, you're local to Santana, me too. Like, let's go get coffee. And so now we have this friendship. So I think that it's so much more possible now to be able to either find or generate those communities because of what social media has offered to us in terms of being able to connect. So, I think a lot of people are not as encouraged because maybe they're not surrounded with that community yet. But it's like, if you're looking for something like that, somebody else is too.
I think that's right. It's like, I think like, okay, like a personal suggestion that I have in terms of like how to make this work. For example, it's in like Leslie, for example, has a big following, right? So what about creating like Excel sheets of, hey, like, would you be down to be a contact for a parent whose child just came out to them?
Mm-hmm.
And like create Excel sheets of like people's names and contacts. Like, here, this person, I'm willing, I speak Spanish, I speak Korean, I speak Chinese, I'm bilingual in this way. And like creating like actual like Excel sheets with like names of people who can actually like, who are willing to do that work. For example, like I would assume that everybody here would be down, especially like Mayra and kind of like people that seem to be very like humble and grateful people and really like involved in your own like children's lives. Like, would you be down to be on an Excel sheet to support other parents if they, followed up with you? So like creating an Excel sheet, let's do it, right? And also like for me, like a passion something that I've been wanting to do for a long time and that I have every intent of doing when I moved to San Diego. I've done door knocking, and everyone comment on this Zoom call, on this chat, if you are a parent who are willing to talk to another parent about your experience raising your children. Like, just, are you willing to be put in Excel sheet? DM Leslie, DM me. I don't know. I am down to create this. I'm very like action oriented. That's my Virgo Mars. But I'm also very for me, I've been doing canvassing for a long time. Like I was canvassing for like the rent control shit. I don't know, it was a hot mess. But anyways, I've been doing door to door stuff, and I put my body on the line because you don't know, as a trans woman being in public like that, it's dangerous. But I did it because I valued that work, and so I want to just like make flyers, be a trans woman, and just knock on people's doors in like my community and be like, hey, I am a trans woman. I want to start a group of people who have families who are struggling, who if you're a family member who has children who is queer, who if you are queer raising children, I want to create a collective and just door knocking. It works for politicians who are community driven, who are community run. And that's what they do when they want votes. They go to the communities, and we need to start doing that too. And some people are more safe to do that than others. I am less safe doing that. But parents are more safe to do that, right? Because you might be cis, you might be like safer. So like I am down to like, I want to do that. As soon as I move, I'm like, I want to do this. And like, also like children's hospitals in LA, like in getting the fucking hospitals involved and being like, you have a gender clinic here. What is your infrastructure for supporting parents who are struggling with this? Do you like, how can we build that infrastructure together? And who is doing what and creating like these Excel sheets, right? And creating these documents. And just like archiving like a little Google Drive of like, here are like different articles, here are different by location or in the SoCal, right? I am down to do it. I'm always down to do more work. Why am I down to do more work? I don't know. But I think because for me, I am a victim. I am a survivor of conversion therapy. I know the repercussions of being in an experience, like being a queer child in a family that simply did not know. Honestly, and it's sad because my dad accepted me from the get-go and everybody kept telling our parents that I need to do something. I felt like I needed to change who I was. My parents did not know what the fuck they were doing. They sent me to this for years. And looking back, they're like, why the fuck did we do that? My dad was like, I have no idea why we did that. He was like, I never knew, but he was busy working. He wasn't as involved as my mom was. He wasn't as involved as the women in my family were. And that's honestly, he needed to be more involved, frankly, but that's past. And so it was like, I feel like truly like sometimes it's really education. Some parents are just overtly hateful, but I think even like things like this that shift where parents can see other parents talking positively. I cannot tell you how many times my mom is approached by her friends being like, you have a trans child? Wait, it must have been really rough for you, huh? She's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean it was rough for me? And she like called them the fuck out. She's like, if they misgender me, they don't even dare to misgender me. My mom is like on it. And like, but I know she needed that education because she wasn't there. And I've kind of grown to forgive that and to grow and heal from that. But like, I truly am like, sometimes we need to take matters into our own hands because people like ain't gonna work. I'm sorry. It's white people shit. It's not gonna work. It's those picnics. It's those, hey, so what do you think? Do you want to do this? Let's create like a little collective. It's the picnics. It's the little events at the park. It's the little school gatherings. It's those things. Like, would you be down to be on the Excel sheet? Okay, I'm gonna put you down. Okay. And like, you know what I mean? It's like, because there's so many queer children. There are so many queer parents. They're just living in secret and they're living in shame.
And Angel, they even have this, I'm telling you, they have this for people who are going through cancer. So if they have this for people who are going through cancer, mentors that, I was doing my research when I was going through my treatment, and I found that there was this organization that would match you up with someone, a mentor that would kind of help you navigate through your illness and like through your treatment. If they have that for cancer, how come we can't create something like that for our communities, for biopic communities, because they probably do exist for white communities, but we should be creating those for our communities, in our language and with our gente and carne asadas instead of like the picnics, carne asada in the park, and just have everyone come and then sign up, do the signups and match you up with someone that's going to help you navigate. You have a son that's queer. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's get together for coffee. Let's just let that family know that they're not alone and that we could give them resources to help them through this process for the child and for them too.
One of the goals, I think, of this panel and then last year's series that we did, because we had, amazing folks just like yourselves, is to strengthen this aspect of the Latinx community, right? And so one of the goals that we have with El Pueblito, which is our membership community that is like very, very, very slowly launching, is to have this space where we could share those resources, ask those questions, have it be something that is, hey, I am going to have a carne asada. Who wants to come? And put it out there to other families who are experiencing similar journeys, and also families who are not experiencing similar journeys but really want to be allied, right? And really want to show up for the community. I'm talking childcare, I'm talking, cooperatives, like things like that. But yeah, that's something that I think that we really should continue to talk about. I would love to put each of you in touch with the panelists from last year as well, and really just start having that conversation, because I think everybody who's listening to this, either live or if you're watching the recording, I know that there is somebody out there who is like, yes, I am down to be on a spreadsheet, or I am down to be a resource, or I am down to seek. I'm finally ready to go and seek that support, right? I've been so scared to go seek that support because of pressure from family or whatever it is, but there is support and mentorship and allyship available. And so, yeah, this is where I wanted to leave off too, right? Like in that like spirit of hope and what the vision is. So I have one final question before we move into Q&A. I know, Carissa, we're at 12:22, but I told each of you, like, we might go over because this is going to get juicy, and it has been so juicy and exciting for me to be here with all of you. But I want to know, what is your vision, in a sentence or two or three? What is your vision for our people, our families, our communities? And anybody who feels like you want to start, you could start.
I feel that at the basis and core of everything, and I'm going to sound like such a hippie when I say this, but it's really just, we came to this earth, we came here in this time to receive love and teach love and to give love. And really that is the basis of it. And that's what I want moving forward, is to each of us to really plant that seed of love and continue to let that flourish, because that is our mission here on this earth, to do that.
Thank you, Maida.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off of that, Maida, definitely my vision would be, with that love, create the necessary spaces for ourselves, for our children, and for future generations.
Gracias, Roxy. Beautiful.
I can go really quick unless you want to go first, Angel.
You can go first.
Okay. I definitely think that I really like this panel. It's a bunch of people from different backgrounds that came to talk. So, thank you for that. And I just want folks out there listening to stop seeing so much difference. I think there's a lot of similarities in between our communities, and we like to be fearful of each other, especially of trans and queer people. We're like, oh no, they're going to destroy our sense of familia. There's not going to be familia anymore. And I want, cis individuals, straight individuals in the Latinx community to realize that a lot of us experience queer families already. A lot of us were raised by our grandmothers, moved in with our uncles and aunts. Like, our familia looks so different. You talk to different people every day. So just to be open-minded and to see the, love and care for each other as well, just like Maida said.
Thank you, Ezequiel.
Yeah, my vision for families. Okay, wait, it was vision for families, right? And familias and
I think specifically like Latinx families, right? Like families like ours, the families that we came from.
Honestly, so much of my idea of a vision for Latinx families is like, it's actually like more economic. It's like, I want families to not struggle to survive. I want families to have the money that they need and the resources that they need, so they don't have to struggle between like making money and their relationships with their children. I want like a culture in our community that is like, not only tolerates queerness but celebrates it, that acknowledges the history of Indigenous people and how they treated and worshipped and venerated and celebrated trans and two-spirit people as priestesses, as mediators, as guides, as intuitives. I want just collective manifestation, like people coming together and manifesting shit that they want in their communities, in their neighborhoods. Like empowered ass people. I want no cops in neighborhoods. I want no prisons. I want no more wage labor. I want no borders. And I feel like so much of everything else of our queerness and our existence as trans people will get better when those things are also fixed. And that's kind of what my vision is. But to keep it simple, also like, you know, parents to have the support for each other and to have a strong collective kind of infrastructure of queer people and parents of queer people who are there for each other and who can support each other. That's kind of what I do, what I want.
Absolutely, I do feel everything is connected, and with dismantling certain systems, we dismantle everything else.
Thank you all. I'm gonna let Carissa take over so that she can read us some. We had a couple of questions come in, and so we'll take those questions and then we will wrap up and have a really wonderful Saturday after that for all of us. But go ahead, Carissa.
Yes, thank you all so much. I loved hearing your stories and all of your sharing and for all the engagement in the chat. And Angela, similar to you, I'm always giving myself more work. You're like, we need to create all these things. I'm like, we do. I'm like making a list of all the things we need to create. And what came up for me too, as Leslie shared, was our virtual community that we'll be launching soon. It's been, you know, we're slowly growing the back end, like figuring out how we're going to launch it, but we're developing a virtual community called El Pueblito, where it's going to have spaces for families to gather virtually. So it'll have, you know, a space for LGBTQ parents or parents of children that identify, where we can just continuously have these conversations, put the call out for support, similar to the space that we have on Facebook, where it's just parents that are like, I'm experiencing this, you know, how do you talk to your family? It's going to have more unique spaces in there. So I'm really excited to launch that, because that's going to be a resource for a lot of people. We only received 2 questions, and you guys all received so much shout out and so much engagement within the chats. If you want to go through there and just kind of scroll through that. But one of the questions we kind of spoke about already and answered in a lot of different ways was someone saying, as a school counselor who works with parents and students, how can I better support both of them on their journey? Right, hearing parents say things like, this is a phase and they'll outgrow this, but also wanting to be the support for the child. And then the question is, are there any resources available that you might suggest, especially in Spanish?
I know that there are resources in Spanish specifically for it's through the county. It might be a little bit white, but it is through the DMH portal. And there is resources on how to speak to your family, or how to speak to a family member who is maybe coming out to you, a child who may be coming out to you. And I feel like just providing the families with those specific resources, and then really, and it's going to be like, it's hard because it's just like a lot of like work, like you have to put work into it, you know, because unfortunately we don't have like a portal where we could just like just log in and then like all the resources are there. But you know, just kind of navigating through, like, let's see what I could find in Spanish, let's see what I could find where it's accessible to the family, accessible to the señora looking for, you know, looking for something on how she could speak to her child about, or how she can navigate through that. And there's also information on pronouns. So educating family members on pronouns, educating families on what's the appropriate pronoun to use and why you should use it. So I think just having those resources available, and just really telling a family member that, you know, having trust in the child and saying, like, you know, because you do really hear that all the time, like, oh, it's just a phase, they're gonna grow out of it. And it's really not. It's really not. You know, having that trust, and as a counselor, just letting that family know that, you know, trust in your child, and like really talk to them, and create that space, you know. And here are some resources so that you could take care of yourself as well, through that process, and really like take time to really go within and see, handle your own kind of like biases, and like handle your own feelings about that, what that means to you.
Yeah, and this recording is also going to be available in Spanish also, and it's accessible for free. And so we're hoping that, you know, people will pass it along to families that they're working with also, so that they can hear the conversation happen in Espanol, right? That's the way that we're trying to be accessible to families like that. So thank you, Mayra. Anybody else want to share any resources that you recommend?
And please feel free to send them over to me, and we can include them in one of the emails, or we can put them like on a blog post on our website. So my intention after this is to connect our 2021 speakers, like Leslie mentioned, with you all, and we can just start there, you know, say, what resources do you all have that are available for BIPOC that might be in Spanish, and we can just start there and see what energy we can bring towards resources through Latinx parenting, and also through our website or through our emails, and just continue the search. I will also say that we, you know, sometimes have a hard time finding parents or people that can speak on this panel. So like that's another thing, is connecting more people to our resources and to who we are, so that we could have more representation of other parents and their families that are part of the LGBTQ community. Yeah, but accessible resources, I know, is a big one.
I
I
feel like
would
my
say
mom's
for
the only one of these. I think you would be interested in this.
Yeah, I definitely think the same for my parents. But I was just gonna say, in terms of resources, Alice Pub Trans Lifeline, they have 2 lines. So one for, let's say, a child that wants to talk to an operator. They're also a hotline that doesn't call like police or ambulances, anything like that, unless specifically asked for by the person calling. So it's a hotline that you don't have to worry about in terms of, you know, you bring up suicidal ideation, things like that. You don't have to get scared sharing those thoughts. It's also a line that's open to family members. So let's say you need some support, you're a mother, your kid's just coming out. There's also that. They have operators in English and Spanish. There's also their website where they have resources in English and Spanish. They also do like micro grants. So if you don't have money for name change, things like that, you can always apply. I would say, in terms of if you're dealing with a child and you're a counselor, please do a safety plan with them, because you never know how things can escalate at home. So if you can, you know, get a bag together with them. Also, if their family's like not supportive, it's always helpful to envision things. So maybe do kind of a vision board of how their life can look like, how it will look like, give them hope, stay hopeful. If the parents aren't supportive, keep them away, out of the room, you know, let parents, this how God say, on their own with you and not with their child, because you don't want the child internalizing whatever the parents are projecting onto you. And I also have like a PDF of a book about gender inclusive Spanish language. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good. So it opens up a lot of, you know, stuff for beginners. So I think, you know, if that's something folks are interested in, I can also share that. And it's only like 100 pages. So it's like a quick read. It's in Spanish.
Thank you, Ezequiel. Chris, I think we have gone over officially, but if we have maybe
There was
couple
one more
minutes.
question. Yeah. So one more question from whoever would like to answer is, what does queer mean to you?
I mean,
Yeah. You can go.
what are you gonna say?
Oh, you can go.
For me, someone who identifies as queer, it's really just, there's so much more to queerness than what the title actually even describes it to be. But for me personally, I identify as queer because I date women, as you know, so essentially lesbian, but I have also dated trans men. And that is why I would say that I identify as queer.
I think queer to me. So when I sent Carissa my quote, it kind of defined wayward, and wayward is kind of, and I feel like my definition of queer aligns with wayward in some way, more so because, and it's from a book from Sadie Hartman, and it's basically, I'm queer not just because of who I love, but also because who I love has taught me about the world and how I organize my life. You know, how my way of existing, the way I view parenting, the way I view community, that is based on like a communal, the way that I share myself, my energy, my resources. I also, because I'm always improvising in this system that tries to erase me, I am constantly celebrating myself, and I'm constantly resisting literally by existing, by going out outside and wearing what I wear and doing what I do. It's like, you don't have to try, you simply are. You simply are. And it's seeking possibilities, always finding possibilities to exist outside of what my family, what my community, what the world taught me that is possible for me. It's refusal. It's refusal. It's saying no. You told me I should be this way, and I said no. I'm going to define who I am on my own terms as best as I can. Given the script that was given to me, given my limited options in the society, I'm going to try my best to be who I am. So that's what queer means to me.
Do you want us all to answer? Sorry.
It's up to you. I was just offering the space. If you don't
Okay.
want to, you don't have to.
I guess just really quickly, because I know we're coming on time and everyone's like a little antsy right now, but I would say queerness for me means to question, right? So ask me, what does it mean for me? I think when we stick to stricter labels, it doesn't leave as much room for questioning or narrative. And I really like that queer is just so open. So it's like, you know, you might ask me who I'm dating, right? Like, don't just assume who I'm dating or what I'm into or what I like. So that's what I really like about queerness, is it's such an umbrella term that it's so open and fluid, just like sexuality is, just like gender is. So, you know, it's more of a spectrum, and I like that it leaves room to play.
Thank you.
For me, I feel like the term lesbian, like, I just doesn't feel like it encompasses who I am really at the core of my soul. I just feel like it doesn't really just put the label, stamp the label, and like, that's it. That's who you are. And I just feel like it doesn't, because there's just so many things that I'm attracted to that I just feel like I can't shove myself into a little compartment anymore in my life. I've come to a point where I feel like I really do feel like I got a second chance at life. And so I'm going to live as boldly as I can, and just be who I am. And I feel like queer just allows me to just be that, to encompass that person. And just be.
Thank you, Mayra. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm gonna just offer you just hug yourself right now, and that's like me hugging you right now. I want to give you the biggest hug. Oh, just so tight. Thank you all for showing up so beautifully to this space. This is hopefully just the beginning, right? We're just scratching the surface. As many of you have said, like there's so much more work to be done, and also want to honor your rest, your joy, your ease, and celebrate not labor, right? Like celebrate the fruits of the labor that you have already done. And so thank you all for being here. I'm so honored to know you. Carissa, thank you so much for moderating today. And to our interpreters, thank you, Lorena de la Vega and Lorena Rincon, for being amazing. And then to everybody that tuned in live, I know that some people had to get going, but again, this resource will be available at no cost to anybody who would want to benefit from the wisdom that was shared here today. So thank you, Angel. Thank you, Ezequiel. Thank you, Mayra. Thank you, Roxy, Roxana. I hope that, we will be in touch soon. Definitely going to make that bridge between you all and the panelists from last year. And yeah, we'll just keep the conversation going. Appreciate you. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your Saturday.
Thank you all. Adios.
Bye.
Thank you so
Gracias.
much. Thank you so much.
It
Bye-bye.
was really nice. Bye-bye.
Bye.